We find ourselves at the home of the world's first retractable natural grass field as you get a look inside State Farm Stadium in Glendale. It's certainly hot outside here in the desert, but somehow this Cardinal crowd turned up the heat a moment ago. They were in a frenzy as their team emerged from the tunnel, and the Cardinals, they're set to do battle with the Seattle Seahawks. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Now the first carry for Chase Edmonds. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They run the counter. Edmonds. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at 2nd down. For these two division rivals, the schedule maker gave them a couple of second-half meetings this year. They met for the first time back in Week 11, and it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. Now on 2nd and 16, Murray. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. Here comes the Cardinals punter now. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. And he'll take it just outside the 40. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. And they'll run it. This is James Robinson. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. They run. Robinson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They go play action with Wilson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And this will be caught by Metcalf for a Seahawk touchdown. DK Metcalf, his 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. Myers connects on the PAT, and it's now a 7-0 game. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. As the season winds down and you look at them in totality, you know, the offense has struggled. The defense has been pretty good, so I would imagine the changes this offseason may be more on the offensive side of the ball.
And this is where we always hear the term
under a heavy rush, and down he goes. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Shotgun now for Murray. Dancing to his left. Going deep for Hopkins. A fight for it, and this is caught. What a catch. A big play that time through the air. 32 yards. The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Murray has the Murray fighting, lost the football.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 34. Murray flips his forward on the jet sweep. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
It looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves them with 7 yards to go on 3rd down. Well, this defense for the Seahawks, they were terrific last week in the win over the Rams.
But we certainly had a nice conversation with the defensive coordinator, didn't we? And what we heard, I like what we did, but we definitely need more pressure on the quarterback this week.
Eluding the pressure right. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And the end result of that play, you're almost not sure what you really want, because when he gets outside of the pocket, you actually hold your breath because you think he's going to run for big yardage. But when he chose to pull it down and throw it, and a play was made to knock it away, that's a pretty good end result. Not one you expected when the play began.
So a bit of a weird kick there. That wasn't an overly long attempt, but that never had a chance.
You almost wonder if he might have maybe got that one on the laces because it kind of knuckled on him a bit. And this one winds up in empty possession.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Jalen Thompson picks it. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
After the turnover, here's Murray. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. L.J. Collier just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Murray going to throw. Gets it to Bellamy outright. And he gets it to the 30 when it's all said and done.
That turns into a very well-orchestrated play right there. Going to work his way out of the backfield to the right, and after he looked it in, he found plenty of space to roam and picked up big yardage.
On 1st down, Bellamy. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Now, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard. Here's Murray. That's out to the flat for Edmonds. He'll wind up getting just a yard. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Trying to pick it up on the ground with Edmonds. And he is going to have a Cardinals 1st down, maybe by about a yard as they find a way to convert on 3rd and inches.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you should have a few men in the box there. Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
And that's a play to applaud because these RPOs, things happen so quickly. And that ball's out of the quarterback's hands fast. He read it and reacted and was there to hit him as the ball arrived at the receiver. Big-time read, big-time play.
To throw is Murray. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 40.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
They'll run on 1st down. Edmonds. And he's taken down inside the 30. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast. The line.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Jordan Brooks with it. And the Seahawks are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Buying time to his left. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson being chased out left. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And this one is incomplete.
Whenever you see a quarterback break contain, just think to yourself, the receivers on that side of the field, their number one job, make sure they get in his sight line so he can try and find someone downfield. Guys on the backside, make sure you don't give up the deep ball. They tried it there. They weren't able to connect.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Flush to his right. That one taken in by Dwayne Eskridge. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
Now that's all about making something happen as a quarterback because instead of forcing something on 3rd down, how about him buying some time outside of the pocket, waiting for someone to come open, and when he did, he put it on him for a big play and a 1st down.
Well, the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And he'll be out of bounds. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
Robinson will take this into the end zone for a Seahawk touchdown. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is...
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Jordan Brooks make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams, and he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily, but I also wonder if it's going to unnerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one, or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
After the interception, here's Wilson. Flushed out right. Catch is made by Metcalf. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover. And they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
That's out wide here for Robinson. So nothing doing there, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. On 2nd and goal, Wilson, touchdown. It's complete. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. Here the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Extra point up and through by Myers. And it's now 21 to nothing. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And with a little under a minute remaining, they may try to put something together here just to try to cut into that deficit. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
This defense not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Back to the air on second down. It's Murray. They'll go out to the flat for Edmonds. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throwing now is Murray. He'll air this one out for Kirk. And incomplete on the deep ball.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Out of the gun, here's Murray. Pressure comes, he's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Now that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot, 3rd and long. Murray now to throw. And that is incomplete.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
So holding there on the return, and that'll back them up to start the next drive.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy call right there, partner. I think when the officials look in their manual and see the expression jersey getting pulled, that's a flag coming out every time.
Well, throw on 1st down with Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Buda Baker with a pick. So the interception there, and Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
So we've reached halftime here on New Year's Eve. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it.
And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. A big connection on that one. 34 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. He'll find Eskridge here complete. Here's 2nd and a yard. On the run, it's Robinson. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line.
Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
And down inside the 15 he goes. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because...
And he finds Lockett in the end zone. Touchdown, Seattle. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Seahawks take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. The extra point now coming from Myers. And it's no good. Oh, he misses the extra point, and our score stays right where it is. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And we'll see a return here from... And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
There's never a good place on the field to fumble the ball. Let's just call it as it is.
But definitely not in your own red zone.
In your own red zone, it's heightened, isn't it? Because you're almost automatically giving up a score and the momentum, and everything just changes for your team.
Yeah, so the kickoff fumble now, great field position. On first down, Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Myers connects on the PAT, and that will extend this big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Murray. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked off near the 32.